Hi, everyone. This is Carl Ford. I am your moderator today for our wonderful webinar with Sierra Wireless called IoT Users Discuss How They Improve ROI Through Optimized Connectivity. And as usual, this will be available as a recorded webinar 24 hours from now, so if you want to share it with your friends, feel free to do so. We will be taking questions and answers at the end of this, and this will be a fairly interactive discussion. And we have Chris Ganacone. Chris, can you say hi to people so they hear your voice?
Hi, this is Chris. Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, wherever you are.
And Stefan, you want to give everyone a sound of your voice?
Yeah. Hi, this is Stefan from Sierra Wireless. Nice to meet you.
And you all know my voice by now, so we're not going to repeat that. I'm Carl Ford. We have some poll questions to start us off here, so let's get us started by asking you, the audience, at what stage is your IoT deployment? Are you already using connected devices? Are you in the middle of having a project underway? Are you starting to plan an IoT project within the next 12 months? Or in that wonderful stage where you're just doing research and you're thinking about kicking the tires? So just out of curiosity, let me ask you, Chris, what's been your experience when you talk to new potential customers? Are they, do they have something underway already and they're actually looking to expand, or are they in the kicking the tire mode? What's been your experience so far? Chris? Stefan, I'll ask you.
Yes. Well, I think the IoT business and the connected world is just in a very early stages still. So I think I would assume that more of the respondents here are still looking at it and planning for it. So, but I think that, of course, the customers that we are talking to have normally come a bit in their thinking if they're not already doing it.
Okay. Okay, and let's see what our audience tells us. And the audience tells us that they're already using connected devices by about 35%, but then the next major one is the people who are in the research mode. So, you know, we've got quite an interesting mixed bag here. And, you know, the good news is we've got a majority that's got something going on, and we've got a new fertile ground for us to work with. So with that said, I introduced everyone's voices. I had people hear Chris, and I had people hear Stefan. And Stefan, I'm now going to have you take over and lead the way, correct?
No, I think actually Chris is going to start.
Sorry, I apologize. Chris, you want to take over?
Yeah, sure. Can everybody hear me?
We hear you now.
Hello? Okay, great. All right. My name is Chris Ganacone. I'm the founder and CEO of Nube, which means cloud for Spanish, in Spanish. Our main focus is an IoT device, which we have developed in close partnership with Sierra Wireless, which measures the level of gas in liquefied petroleum gas tanks, primarily in Latin America, although there's a small market in Canada and in the US. So let me move on to the next slide. So this is Nube. So the problem. So we identified this problem about a year and a half ago. What happens primarily in Mexico and Latin American countries, the infrastructure for gas pipelines in the big cities and suburbs is not there. So the way consumers, both commercial, industrial, and residents, get gas for their cooking and their hot water, primarily for cooking and hot water, is via a tank that is stored on the roof of buildings, whether it's a home or a hotel or hospital or restaurant. The tank is stored on the roof, and that's how they obtain their gas. So the problem basically is quite interesting, because the supply side or the demand side does not know how much gas there is in the tanks of their customers. So in other words, the whole ecosystem, the delivery of gas and the optimization is not available at all. So the delivery of gas and the whole ecosystem kind of works on two emotions, fear and guesswork. So that is primarily because neither party knows how much gas there is in their customers' tanks. So this is the can everybody see this slide? So this is the market opportunity that we are playing with. In Mexico alone, there is about 12 million tanks that are sitting on roofs. In the rest of Latin America, I mean Costa Rica, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Colombia, is about 2 to 3 million tanks, and the rest of the world, there is the same problem exists even in Asia, but the tanks are different. The different types of tanks are used there, but our IoT device can. So I'm going to combine the next two slides and kind of give you a high-level view of what kind of comprises of IoT. In the poll, it looks like some of you already know some of this stuff because you are already in IoT projects. But fundamentally, these are the components, right? What we are saying is that it's going to be explosive. It's going to have like a $1 trillion market space by the end of 2020. And the sensor technology is primarily the driving force of most of the IoT devices. Sensors have been there for a long time, but due to technology, miniaturization, and some of the technology advances that are backed by a lot of influential supporters like Sierra Wireless and many other companies, the process has become commercially viable for a whole series of applications, both on the consumer side and at the commercial side. So fundamentally, in our case, or probably in most IoT solutions, these are some of the components that kind of comprise of a solution, if you will. You know, there is some kind of sensor, the gas level, the temperature, the humidity, the moisture, whatever that may be in any vertical. Then you have something that takes that sensor and put it into some device. Then you have a communication platform. You need to have some way of capturing that data and the ability to communicate that data from the device to an internet connection, whatever that connection may be. It could be, in our case, it's a global cellular connection that we are using because the infrastructure doesn't support the Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. And of course, then you need to have some kind of what we call an M2M or machine-to-machine platform to collect the data. And from there on, you are able to kind of develop software gathering all that data. So this is fundamentally the approach that we have taken, or kind of to say most IoT solutions will need. So this is our solution. So what I like to share with you of when we design the solution is a couple of key pointers that you need to keep in mind. The first one is you need to prepare and design for evolving actions. What do I mean by that? You need to prepare and be ready for some functions that will evolve as you develop your platform. The second component of that preparation is to try and develop all your functions in the cloud, in the machine-to-machine cloud, so that you keep the minimum amount of functions that is operating on the IoT device. Why? You reduce the amount of OTA, over-the-air updates. There's some kind of risk, and in some stage when you consider over-the-air updates, although Tesla has perfected that mechanism to upload software to all their cars, but it's better, you have better control if you have as many functions as possible on the machine-to-machine cloud, i.e., for example, Sierra Wireless's AI Advantage. They have a full suite of applications and tools and rules, business rules you can adopt based on your solution that you can run very efficiently on their AI Advantage platform. The second is you need to leverage your market. Whether you are the customer or whether you're developing an IoT solution for other customers, you need to really understand the market, the business model. If you are having a disruption model, that is great, but then you need to be able to understand your market, what their requirements are, and be able to deliver a solution that they can easily adapt. In our case, there is a significant challenge because there's some consumer behavior that needs to change in how people understand how our solution will work, right? So that is in our case, but it could be different to your application. The third function is you need to create very simple contextual user experiences. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is value must seamlessly integrate into people's workflows. I like to use Apple as an example. All the complexity is underneath, and the solution is very, very simple, right? Even a 4-year-old or 8-year-old kid can use an iPhone. Why? Because the user experience is very contextually delivered in a very simple user interface. So we worked very hard for that, and our SaaS platform, is very simple, and we allow all the complexity to happen in either our cloud or the Sierra Wireless cloud. Then the fourth item that you need to consider is some kind of premeditated actions, that your platform or your solution will need. In our specific case, we have adopted some exception-based alerts, exception reporting-based alerts, some notifications when certain events take place, when certain levels of gas, or when the device doesn't wake up at a predetermined time. Or we also have some alerts where we can make some predictions to forecasting when the gas level is going to reach at a certain point based on our platform. And finally, it's all about connecting people, right? IoT is about delivering business solutions that connect people together. So going back to our slide, this is our solution. Basically, most IoT solutions will probably consist of these two platform architectures. So the first part, we call it TaaS, which is telemetry as a service. So that's what we do with the IoT device that we have developed in partnership with Sierra, right? We are using one of their top-notch, the latest module. The MCU is HL8529, and we are using their smart SIM card, which is a global SIM card, which has got some very smart Java applets running that can determine the best signal, the best nearest tower location for cellular, wakes up and sleeps. We have developed some very, very sophisticated functions that run on our telemetry as a service. In the middle is the platform as a service, right? So this is the core architecture that sits in the middle that brings together the solution between the TaaS and the PaaS, right? So all the data comes via wireless advantage platform. So they have a sophisticated communication protocol that combines not only the cellular but MQTT to reliable data transfer to their Advantage platform, and from there we run a consistent APIs, to their platform to receive the data, to receive alerts, to receive other type of tools, business rules type of tools to our database that is also running in the cloud. And the third platform is the SaaS model, right, which is the software as a service. We have two different platforms that is running on our software platform. One is a browser-based platform for the gas companies that can view all the gas tanks of their customers. And we have a mobile application that consumers can use, can monitor the levels, can set alerts, can order gas, and even pay for the gas. So the challenge is to initially to design and develop each of these architectures individually. But the biggest challenge we have faced is bringing these three architectures to talk seamlessly and harmoniously and deliver a solution. So Sierra played a great part in this role by providing us tremendous amount of support on the Sierra Wireless AirVantage platform, I wouldn't bet on anybody else other than this. We have evaluated some other companies, and the goal is to get to market as soon as possible. So bringing together the TAS and the PAS modules with their modules and their SIM cards and partnership we have with the AirAdvantage has enabled us to come this far in very, 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 very fast. So the next slide. So this is what our device looks like. It's pretty close. It's an artistic impression, but the final device is going to look slightly different. So these are the 6 main components that our device does. It measures levels at predetermined intervals. In our case, every 12 hours, the SIM card and the module wakes up automatically and goes to sleep, reads the gas levels, and then transmits the gas levels to the AirAdvantage cloud. There is a sensor in there that takes an analog reading, converts it to digital. The power base we are using currently is battery powered. Since the device is on the roof, it needs to be weatherproof, so it's waterproof and hermetically sealed to avoid any problems with the weather. And of course, we have the Sierra Wireless SIM card, which is a global SIM card, patented, the Java applets running on it, that we use pretty much heavily to move our data from the device to the AirAdvantage cloud. And we have a simple retrofit, so it's a plastic retrofit. The enclosure is made out of plastic, and it's enclosed into 2 PCBs inside the device. So this is what we kind of went through. We actually evaluated another company called Jasper before they were acquired by Cisco, and we also evaluated Telit, which is another company based out of, I believe, Israel, Trieste, and London, and we also evaluated Sierra. At the end, we finally decided to go with Sierra Wireless for the following reasons. They have a very deep sense of what the IoT roadmap should be. They have a very clear vision of how to participate in this space to small companies, startups like us. Their hardware and wireless communication is global, but not only it's global, that it integrates very well with their software platform. So this is key. Again, going back to an Apple example, Jobs always said the hardware and software should be developed by one person, by the same company. So the integration is key for seamless that brings the data for us from the device all the way ability to run the API and bring it down to our cloud platform. So it has been tremendous. So I think I jumped ahead a little bit on the AE. There's a new buzzword for M2M. It's called AE, Application Enabling Platform. And this is what basically notwithstanding the components on the device, that really brought the whole solution for us together. As I mentioned, there's a tremendous amount of support and tools that is provided not only through the AirAdvantage platform, but through their support staff in the US and globally. And they have, but one of the key decisions that made their divisional units that provide different support and solutions work very well. The software, each of these units are able to talk to each other and work together in minutes, not days and weeks with an email. Things are resolved quickly, and we were able to move forward very well. This decision making process starting a new how to get to market very quickly, very swiftly. was another key decision. And of course, let's say they have top management. So 13 is not showing up. Let me hold on. Okay, it jumped. Okay, so I hope everyone can see slide 13. So startup in a new.
Yes, we see slide 13 right now. Challenges along the way. That's where we're at.
Okay, that's perfect. So as I mentioned, doing a startup with a new disruptive technology is never easy, and it's not a bed of roses. We have challenges, but with good amount of support and tools from Sierra, we have been able to achieve our goals rather quickly. So this is a roadmap of some of the challenges we have faced. Learning about the M2M platform, how that integrates with our cloud platform as well as the device. Selects the appropriate hardware for the region, for the specific region and the market, and how the sensor technology integrates with the MCU and the SIM card was another challenge that we faced. And then number 3 is key, right? Optimizing the hardware and the communication. So the hardware and the communication has to work very, very seamlessly and in concert to enable, very robust, stable, reliable data transfer to the M2M platform and then to our cloud. And then, as I mentioned in our solution slide, individually, each of these platforms, the TaaS, the PaaS, and the SaaS, can be developed individually. But the challenge is to bring all of these 3 platforms together and seamlessly and harmoniously work. So Sierra Wireless, being one of the key partners sitting in the middle of the PaaS platform, has really us to bring that data all the way from the device all the way to a mobile platform where the consumer can see. And again, the vendor coordination, I think I have mentioned this already. There's a tremendous amount. The device is finally being manufactured by a company called Flextronics in the US. So there is some vendor coordination that is critical to make sure that all the parts, all the certification, all of them are delivered to the final manufacturer base. So this is our vision. So one of the reasons we named our company Nube and not gas or gas monitoring or whatever the name. Nube in Spanish means cloud. So IoT basically and fundamentally comprises, of the cloud architecture. Without having that cloud architecture in place from your machine-to-machine platform, i.e. Sierra Wireless, to your cloud platform, you're going to face many challenges, if you don't get that cloud platform together. So at the bottom, you can see this is our first device. We are already planning for our second device. We have got a white paper written by a technology company in the US for our second device. So we are already planning for that and starting to look at the design. So the goal here is to have the TaaS, the PaaS, and the SaaS architecture developed absolutely correctly and perfectly so that we can migrate and transition to another device very quickly, immaterial of what vertical that device is going to be executed on. So as you can see, we have devices and sensors that are coming in the IoT platform. We get the data transferred to the Sierra Wireless M2M platform, to our cloud. And then, our goal is to have different applications depending on the business use case, a web portal, a mobile device, sophisticated analytics, and then from there on, have a big data platform as well for customers. So this is some screenshots of our mobile app that the consumer will see. Essentially, the first screen is showing how much gas there is. We take 2 readings every day. The device wakes up automatically at predetermined 12-hour intervals, reads the level of gas, and as I mentioned, sends it to the Sierra Wireless cloud, from there to our cloud, and then to our SaaS model. So, and then some commercial institutions and industrial institutions have more than one tag. So the second screen, they can see all the levels of each of the tank, and then we have the location base. The location is primarily, we have plans to do some logistics optimization for the delivery of gas. So when the orders come in from the mobile phone, the orders go to the gas company, but also will include like a Uber version of gas delivery, so that the gas truck can deliver the gas to the exact location in a very efficient manner. This is a screen of the enterprise portal. So this is one of the dashboards that we developed for the gas companies. So this gives the gas company customer service center or call center, whatever they use, a snapshot of all of their customers' tanks, the different levels at 10%, 5%, 20%, the amount of gas there is in each tank, the alert levels that is set, and we have another screen which we don't have. And as the orders come from the mobile phone, it automatically goes to an order screen where the enterprise customers can click and accept the orders and process the orders and send it out to their trucks to deliver the gas. So this kind of summarizes the whole solution, if you will, all the way from measuring something from a gas tank and bringing the whole solution from the task to the pass to the software. And these are the two platforms that we give for the gas companies as well as the customer on a mobile device. And I believe that's it. Well, this is a quote from me, and so you can read it yourself, which is, in our opinion, very profound, that you all need to get these partners and support on the hardware, on the communication, and the machine-to-machine platform together in order to seamlessly integrate your solution and deliver it. And you have our Facebook and Twitter connection there. If you want to have more information, you can read about us on our website or on the Twitter and Facebook page as well. Thank you very much. I think I'm done.
Hey, Chris, thank you. I think that was wonderful. I do have a favor to ask of you. If I can get you to just kind of, your phone was breaking up on the partner evaluation side. Could you just kind of explain to us how you guys made your decisions as how to work with? Again, so I put back up slide number 12.
Okay. Okay, let me step closer to the speakers. Yeah, so I mean, one of the things that and I will use another customer, another partner, not customer, partner of ours, that we, when we make choices of hardware contract manufacturer versus a partner like Sierra. So one of the things we looked at is the top management, right? The top management and what is their IoT vision for specifically. So we found that Sierra Wireless and Flextronics, specifically at the top management level, had a clear IoT vision of how to bring together solutions to not only to startups, to anybody in the market. So this was one of the key decisions that we made to choose Sierra. So that was very, very evident when we evaluated all of these other companies. And the hardware and wireless, I've always believed that the hardware and the software, the primary in the SaaS and PaaS architecture that I demonstrated in our solution, had to come from one partner. And that was a very significant decision we made, that we choose Sierra for the main module, the MCU and the SIM card, and we were convinced that Sierra was the ideal partner for the M2M. As you guys probably know, we could have chosen some other M2M platform to do that, but we felt that the integration between the hardware partner and the software partner, in this case the machine-to-machine partner, should be the same. And it really worked out for us. It paid off. That was a very critical decision. And the AEP is the same, right? It's basically deciding what M2M platform. These two things have to work hand in hand: the device, the communication, the data transfer, the tools that you have on your AEP should harmoniously and seamlessly work with your device and the components in your device. And the rest is pretty much self-explanatory, I think. The support and the tools that come with it, the divisional units, with the company, you need to talk to the companies, how the different units, the hardware, the sales, the software, the cellular or whatever communication, how each of these divisions work together to support you and bring together solutions or challenges that we have as you develop your product. And well, I think I talked about the top management, and these two organizations, Sierra and Flextronics, actually is our contract manufacturer who's going to finally device. They clearly demonstrated from the top management, they embrace startup disruptive business models, and they have a very clear IoT vision. And these two components really, really made the decision to go with Sierra Wireless. That sound good,
Excellent.
Carl?
Yes, that was excellent. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Chris. So now it's time to go back to asking poll questions to the audience. And the question now on everyone's mind is, what is average connectivity spend as a percentage of an IoT project spend for your particular strategy? So is it less than 5%? Is it 5 to 30%? Is it 30 to 60%? Or is it greater than 60%? So I'm all ears. I have high hopes of where it's going to end up. Stefan, while the audience is gathering their resources, do you have any insight into this?
Yeah, it's actually one of the topics I'm going to discuss briefly about what do we generally see. And this, of course, differs a lot between different applications and solutions. From our experience, it's somewhere in the region around 10, 15, 20, 30%. But we've seen cases where it's more and less. So, but it'll be really interesting to see what the poll shows.
Well, let's see what they...
also, if they know, if they are aware.
Yeah, so by and large, they're in the 5 to 30%, so they're in the range that we thought. There are some folks that are actually below that, which I assume they have lots of gateways involved. And then we have lots of people who, we have some people, 12%, that are higher, and then we've got some people who think it's even more. So I'm sure we're going to have some conversations with people after this about that aspect of it. But why don't you take us away and lead us on to the next part of the conversation?
Okay, thank you, Carl, and thank you, Chris. I think that's a really, Nube is a really interesting example of how to create a totally new business and a service that didn't exist. And we talk to a lot of customers that are wanting to do this, companies that want to create new kinds of services. We also talk, of course, to a lot of companies that are transforming from being a product provider into being a provider of connected services and connected products. And doing this journey is truly challenging from many perspectives. And to be successful in creating a connected business using cellular connectivity, you need to understand the technical challenges, and you need to understand what the cost drivers are in such a project. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the kind of insights and the feedback that we're getting from our customers around this topic. But first, just a few words about Sierra. I hope many of you have heard about Sierra. I think Sierra is well known for being a provider of the hardware, the modules and the gateways that goes into the product that are to be connected. Sierra is today, have been in the business for more than 20 years and serve customers all over the world in all industries and segments. Actually delivering 1/3 of all modules that go out on the market. We actually have delivered more than 120 million devices across the globe up to date. We're not only providing hardware, we are, since a couple of years, also providing connectivity services and cloud services. So not only the hardware that is needed to connect a product, but also, as Chris mentioned, the AirVantage platform, which is a cloud platform for application enablement and device management. And between the hardware, the modules, and the platform, we are providing the connectivity, the access to the mobile networks through our own SIM cards. And today we have more than 1,000 customers across the globe that are using our connectivity services and cloud services, with more than 2 million subscribers on our platform, serving all kinds of industries and markets of all sizes and industries. But to just quickly looking at one example of our customers that are using our connectivity and our end-to-end solution, Veolia is a provider of water purification systems that is used in medical labs. And to their customers, the services that they are providing are mission critical. So they have to provide a 24/7 service. And to be able to do this, they need to rely on the solution and the connectivity that they have created. And this is something that we have developed together with them, and they are now able to deliver a predictive maintenance service that has really increased the services levels, so the service availability that they are delivering to their customers. But what are the challenges that startup companies are meeting, but also what are the challenges that companies that today are providing products meeting when they want to digitalize their business, when they want to connect their products? First of all, it's about change. In order to be able to deliver a connected product, it's about changing the core and the culture of the company. How do we transform from being a product-oriented company into being a service-driven business? And this is a true challenge and something that really has to be deeply understood before going into these kind of projects. Do we understand what it takes to change all parts of the company? And secondly, if we want to do this, it's important to understand what kind of business value will this create. Why do we want to change? What are the new values that we can create and deliver? What are the new kind of customer experiences that we can deliver by connecting our products? This is also critical to understand this in order to understand what are the business opportunity and the values that we can create as a company. Once it's clear that it is possible to create new values, and then it's all about doing the implementation. And here it's very often underestimated, the actual technical complexity and the risks that it's involved when trying to create an IoT solution. It's often underestimated, both from a financial and time perspective, what it takes to get out on the market with a new connected product. And the risk is, of course, that you will miss your window or opportunity or fail entirely. So it's really important to understand what it will take and try to minimize the time to market by identifying the best products and services to base it on. And then, of course, in the end, it's all about getting the ROI, getting the return on the investment from your project and your digitalization of your services. And to be able to do that, you need, of course, to focus and understand what are the drivers. How are you able to increase your service revenues by offering new kinds of services? How will this help you attract new customers? How can you become more efficient in your services by improving the way you do services and reduce the services that you need to, or maintenance services that you need to provide? And of course, how do you increase the customer satisfaction by providing a better service? And also at the same time, how do you actually optimize your organization and maintenance so that you will not get into a situation where you have a lot of customer downtime, long repair times, and so on, that will have a significant impact on your SLA commitments, maybe even something in penalties and customer churn. So coming back to the poll question, what are the costs that you need to take into consideration when you're looking at an ROI investment? The biggest cost is normally the actual application development, getting the business application, the management of the data, and the use of the data into the right kind of application. And then service provisioning normally takes up around 25%, and system integration. And as you can see here, the actual hardware and the device, normally it's not the biggest part of an IT project, but it's a fairly small part. But the connectivity, as we also saw in the poll, normally is around the second or the third largest cost if you look at the total cost of an IoT investment. So it's extremely important to understand the connectivity cost drivers. And the cost drivers, it's important when you define your IoT solution. How do you set up the connectivity costs? How do you get a structure on the connectivity cost that in a good way reflecting the kind of services that you want to provide and the needs that your customer has? It's often underestimated, and it can easily grow if you don't have a good grip on your connectivity agreements and your pricing. We also want to stress that the real cost is not the actual price of the SMS or the megabyte, but you have to look at the entire cost for your operations and your support that comes with the connectivity. And also look at what are the costs of having downtime, of having bad quality. So from a technical perspective, what are the challenges? Well, of course, you need to understand how I'm going to manage the coverage issue. Is my product going to be indoor, or are they going to be far out in the countryside, in rural areas and so on? And this is an important aspect to consider when designing the connectivity solution. And also focus on the data quality. Looking forward, almost all IoT solutions are almost only based on data. And the mobile networks of today are not really designed for that. So you need to have a method of managing and understanding how to ensure that the data is always, the data channel is always at the right kind of quality level that you need for your solution. And I'll skip forward to not lose too much time here, give some time for questions. So, what are the options? Well, you could use a local SIM card from your local provider, for instance, or you could use a roaming SIM card. The difference there is that with a local SIM card, you only get access to one network, whereas a roaming SIM card, you will hopefully get access to several networks in the same country. And then we have the third option of the smart SIM, which has even more functionality and features than providing access to networks. It can also ensure that you have data resilience and data quality at the highest level. So with a local SIM card, if you're lucky, and most times you probably are, you get access to the whole net of the SIM provider, of the MNO from whom you bought the SIM card. But if you're unlucky, you may get into a zone where there is no coverage, or the base station might fail, and then you're out of business. Then you lost the connection to that specific product. If you're using a roaming SIM card, you will have access to more than one network, and then you will get access, if you're lucky, to one of the other networks that are available in the specific location. However, buying a normal roaming SIM card is normally means that you will also get a biased service, because every MNO has their preferred networks. They will really try to push you on to their partner or their cheapest network, which means you may never get to a connection, or it may take very long time to connect to another network. Whereas a smart SIM works in another way. It starts by, in every location, identifying all the available networks, and then they are ranked from a quality perspective, and then the device is allowed to connect to the best network. And would you lose the best network, you will be immediately transferred to the second best network. So the Sierra Smart SIM is a smart SIM which provides global multi-operator connectivity. In other words, it has provides access to basically all mobile networks across the globe. It provides smart network selection. There's no bias towards specific networks. Whichever network is best, it will allow the device to connect to that. It is resilient to outages. It keeps track of the data channel and ensures that the data channel is always up. And if the data channel is for some reason lost, it will be transferring to another network to get the data channel up again. So to finish off, I would like to give an example of the kind of calculation that you can do to see what are your real connectivity costs. This is based not on one specific customer, but we've used feedback from a couple of different customers to get their view on, or to get their data on the usage of the connectivity services. So in this example, we've looked at a customer with around 200,000 SIM cards and a 5-year project. They're using a 1 megabyte per month, and they're paying $1 per month. So the number of problems or issues, we normally see that customers have around 5–10% issues on their installed base per month, which means that they would have around 4,000 issues per month. Out of these, all of these issues, you have to do some kind of management of. So this ends up in your level 1 or level 2 support. And this normally costs around $20 to handle each of these issues. In addition, if you're unlucky, around 5% out of these issues, you will actually have to go out into the field and do something physically with the device. If you lost it totally, you need maybe to go out and change the SIM card. And that can, of course, be extremely expensive if you need to go out into the countryside and change the SIM card in a smart meter or in an oil field or whatever. And then if it's a bad problem and you have an SLA, you might get into a situation when you have to pay penalties to your customer. So this all adds up to an average cost of $31 per issue. And if you split that over all the 200,000 SIM cards, you get an additional cost of 62 cents. Which means that the real cost per month or per megabyte is 162. If you would have had a smart SIM, the cost for the traffic would be the same, but the number of issues would be reduced, since there is the resilience and the smartness on the SIM card. You will not get into the same kind of situations with data loss and loss of quality of service. So you have fewer issues, and it's also faster to resolve the issues because you have more means to do this. You can remotely manage it, and you can do other things remotely to actually solve the issues quicker. This also means that you will need to do fewer field visits, and the downtime or the compliance penalties we've in this example assumed are the same. You will end up with the same kind of penalty issues, and but the average cost per issue in this example is halved compared to with a traditional SIM card, to $16 per issue, or just 11 cents per SIM card. So as you can see, there will be a significant saving by using through the reduction of the number of issues and the increased efficiency of handling of issues. So to summarize this, to improve the ROI of your IT investment, you really need to understand your connectivity costs. You need to focus on setting up measurable objectives regarding the connectivity costs, and you need to look on how to minimize your downtime. I hope this has been helpful, and in addition, if you want some more information about what we are doing from the Sierra side on the connectivity and SIM cards, we have 2 white papers that you can download from our website, Moving Beyond Consumer SIM Cards, which describes more about our smart SIMs, and also a white paper on EUICC, which I didn't talk about today, but describes how you can actually switch connectivity providers remotely without having to access the physical SIM card. So, thank you. Back to you, Carl.
Well, thank you, Stefan. And we've got a lot of questions, and I want to get to as many as I can. The first question we've got actually is for Chris. We've got a few for Chris. Chris, if Nube moves to serve other markets where another hardware provider may have better offerings, can you easily add that to the Sierra platform?
I answered that question online, but let me answer it. Yes, but I will how should I say, oppose that, because then you're creating additional risk when you start with a separate hardware antenna. So Sierra Wireless uses industry-wide standards in all of their protocols, in all of their APIs. So that is an option you can consider, but I would highly not recommend it. For example, we are already designing our next device, and we do not have any plans to change our M2M platform. And I will tell you, because if you see our slide, the slide that shows our vision, if you show that slide, Carl, if you can get the PaaS and the SaaS ready, the only thing that you need to change is TaaS. So once you get the PaaS and the SaaS beautifully architectured and working, then there should your next device, in our example, the next device should be very, very quick and expeditious, because you have already proven and already tested the PaaS and the SaaS architecture. So the only thing you're going to change is the TaaS, and you will create additional risk if you are considering another M2M partner, and I wouldn't advise that.
Got it. And Chris, we have another one for you, which is in your application, are your recurring monthly fees charged to the end consumer, and what has been the market acceptance or reluctance? Market
acceptance has been fantastic. I will tell you the reluctance in a little bit later. The acceptance is basically you need to do position in a quantifiable manner. In our case, we are saying the amount of gas each customer has. You can optimize your deliveries instead of going down the street with the same truck 3 times a day. It's a great example, because people are running out of gas within different times of the day. So that is one option. For the hotels, we have demonstrated to the hotels that their working capital can be significantly improved by knowing the amount of gas they have, and the money can sit in the bank instead of on the roof on a tank. So it all depends on how how you can quantify your value proposition to customers. Your solution must clearly demonstrate that you are making significant ROI on the solution you're delivering.
Okay. Stefan, the next one's for you. You talked about your end-to-end connectivity and platform services. Can you explain to me how that works?
Yes. By end-to-end, we normally talk about the small end-to-end. We provide everything, the plumbing from our hardware, the module that you put into your product, onto the platform through the connectivity. So we have the full chain from the product to the cloud. And on the cloud side, the platform services that we provide are application enablement services, so that a customer of ours that want to build an IoT application, they have all the tools that are needed to build an application, to manage their business data, and to make use of their business data. As another alternative, they can actually use our platform to transfer this information into another cloud service if they want to use something else like Amazon or some other service. So we provide the plumbing and what is needed between the product and the cloud, and then it's up to the customer to use that, or if they want to continue by using another third party for developing their business application.
Okay, and I've got another question for you, Stefan, which is the difference between traditional cellular SIM cards and smart SIMs. Smart SIM is also a similar cellular SIM card. Can you kind of help them understand where the distinction lies?
Yeah, a smart SIM. First of all, it's like many SIMs at the same time. It's actually sometimes some call it a multi-IMSI. There's more than one subscription on each smart SIM. So we can at any time select different ways to go to the same destination. And secondly, the smartness that is built into the SIM makes sure that we're routing the traffic and selects the best network at all times. So there's intelligence, patented intelligence built into the smart SIM that supervises the traffic and ensures that it's always up and running. And if it's not up and running, we can take actions to set up the channel, the data channel again, to make sure that the service can be delivered. Whereas a normal SIM card, which is used for consumer voice and data traffic, does not have these kind of features and functionalities.
Thank you. Hey, Chris, the next one is for you, and it says, Chris, what were the most critical aspects of your project that impacted your success?
Oh, God, good question. Very good question. I think the consumer behavior. Let me address some of the marketing challenges we have. The consumer behavior, right? Every disruptive technology has some kind of consumer behavioral change that needs to be done. So that has been the marketing challenge for people to adapt to a new, very new, disruptive, unknown technology. From the execution side, from our side, I think the challenge is bringing these three platforms together. That is really the fundamental, and Sierra Wireless has played a tremendous part in enabling us to bring the three platforms together. So you really need a partner who can bring those three platforms together. You know, as I mentioned, individually each of these architectures can be done, but you need a partner in the middle, in the PaaS system that brings the whole solution together, and that has been the key for us.
Got it. Thank you. Stefan, I got one more for you. It says, can you talk about resilient connectivity services?
Yeah, it's resilient services. By that we mean actually making it fault tolerant, making it capable of managing issues and problems that might happen. And that, of course, starts with having a SIM card that is intended for M2M, not getting a normal consumer SIM card, but getting an IoT M2M SIM card that has all the physical capabilities or that can have the right temperature and so on. But then when it comes to the connectivity services, it's about what I mentioned a bit before, that we have multiple ways of accessing each network. If one network goes down, we can switch to another network. If one backbone goes down, we can switch to another backbone service. We have redundant core network sites. So if one goes down, we can switch over to another one. So it's about building that kind of redundancy through the entire connectivity chain to ensure that we can always switch to another channel if something happens.
Here's an interesting one, which Stefan, I think is for you, but maybe you both have some thoughts on it. It asks, with the smart SIM, does the mobile network operator need to have roaming agreements with each roaming carrier it connects to, or in effect, are you guys basically organizing which carriers are in that SIM? So I guess the question is, who's the throat that's the choke? How's that for a nice way of saying it?
Yes, we are the throat to choke. We have all the agreements in place to access all networks. So that's not for the customer to manage and that relationship. That's handled by Sierra. So we have all the access to all networks and then we provide this to our customers.
Chris, that must make your life a bit easier when you're sitting there and trying to figure out connectivity problems, I'm assuming. Am I right in that?
Absolutely. And I want to follow up with Stefan's first answer. We have tested, we have experience in a particular network going out or something, and the next time the device wakes up, it connects to a different network, and we have seamless data transfer. So this is one of the smart SIM cards that you provide, right? You don't have to worry about contracts. All of that is globally integrated into your AirVantage platform. All the contracts are in place. You just go put the SIM card, install the device, and you're up and running in no time.
Excellent. Well, we've got several more questions to ask, but we don't have enough time to ask them. So I'm going to ask you both to answer them offline. I want to remind everybody that this was all recorded and available 24 hours from now. So please feel free to share this with your friends. I got a lot out of it. I want to say this has been a wonderful presentation. I've enjoyed it very much. So Chris and Stefan, thank you very much. And please say goodbye to the audience.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you, everybody. I have answered some of the questions online.
Excellent. Thank you all. Bye-bye.